everyone, it is the last day of 2021. I don't know what day it'll be by the time you watch this. It'll probably be the end of 2022 because if any of you know, I like to procrastinate editing my videos, but that's besides the point. Today I thought it would be fun to do a little paint and rant with me. I haven't done one of these in a hot minute, so today we're tackling this piggy bank. So this is currently my quote-unquote piggy bank. It's an old candle. I want to use this for other sorts of storage, so we're gonna paint this. It's dusty. I was planning to paint this when I first got it a year ago. I also have a coffee from my sister. Thank you, Yuna. I'm going to try this first before we start painting. Pretty good, pretty mediocre. And also please ignore this ugly ass background. I don't know where else to film. So I think first I'm gonna paint like a base layer of white and then do like a little pastel pink. I'm borrowing a bunch of my sister's acrylics for this, so I'm just gonna go in with this white first. There's barely any of it left. Rip. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is like dried out basically. It's fun. I don't think this is gonna go. If all these acrylics suck, I have my IKEA paints to rely on. I know this is a paint and rant with me, and usually these videos are very unstructured, but to avoid that unstructuredness, we're gonna get some structure. I put some topics I wanted to talk about in this hat, so I'm gonna mix it around and let's see what we'll talk about first. First thing we'll be talking about is 2021, a year of change. So 2021, aka this year, is the year I graduated from high school. It was a year I dreaded, and I think especially 2020 was a very hard year for me. You know, I think we all went through hard things these past 2 years. I feel like I've lived 5 years in these past 2 years. I'm switching to these IKEA paints. They're not acrylic. This is literally kids paint, but I'm just gonna go over the canvas with the white. Hopefully it goes okay and that I can paint over it with the acrylic. Also been a huge year of transition, especially going from high school to university. Especially like I was so unsure about where I want to go to university for the former half of the year. Me in the beginning of the year and me now are like completely different people. I feel like this year has taught me a lot, but I don't know, I feel like 2020 was more of a year of like learning things about myself, but 2021 was like a year just like living with myself and having to deal with the stress of life. Graduating high school during a pandemic is not something I wanted. Like even in 2020, I wouldn't have imagined my 2021 to look like this. I mean, at least COVID's kind of getting better here, but I don't know, we'll see with all these new Omicron cases how that works out. This year is a huge year of change for me, and I'm deathly afraid of change. I feel like it hasn't changed as drastically as I thought it was going to be. Like, I genuinely thought I was going to be moving abroad by this point, and I'm not. I'm staying here. Change is an inevitable part of life, but it's still so damn scary because of how uncertain it is. Because no matter what decisions you make in life, you never know if you've made the right outcome until you've actually made the decision. What's scary about making decisions is like you don't know what could have happened if you had made the other choice. I'm glad that I made the decisions I did, and I'm glad life is where it's going right now. And I'm just hoping that 2022 will be a better year. In the state of the pandemic, everything is so uncertain. Even when there's a glimpse of certainty, something happens to make it all crash down. So I'm not trying to put high hopes on 2022. I think, you know, for this next year I want to start to focus on myself a lot more, figure out what I like, what I'm passionate about. This is the first layer. I think I have to let it dry, and then we'll try to go over it with a second layer. Sorry, my hair is a mess. We'll just ignore it. The first layer of white is basically dry. I'm gonna do one more layer of this white while we talk. Let's choose next topic out of the hat, which is productivity is a hoax, aka the dangers of hustle culture. I've been watching a lot of productivity videos, productivity YouTubers, how to build better habits and whatnot, and like, do I implement half of the tips they put in the video? No. I don't know, I feel like we romanticize productivity so much, but I feel like productivity is something we do not necessarily because we want to, but because we have to, if that makes sense. I think for me, like the problem I think with like the productivity culture on YouTube or like on social media in general is the idea that productivity equals waking up early and doing work, or like night owls are still productive. When it comes to stuff like productivity, people don't really show the struggles of going to the gym and wanting to cry because they feel like they can't finish a workout, or you know, sitting at a desk and trying so hard to do work and you feel like you want to cry because you can't concentrate. I'm a huge procrastinator, but not because I don't want to work. Like, I do want to do my work. Like, everything in my brain is telling me do work. Like, I'm sitting at my desk, like literally all I have to do is type in my URL, and I still can't get myself to do it. I feel like we shouldn't hold ourselves to the standard of being, if we do this then we're productive. And also, like, productivity and like hustle culture is very much like thanks to capitalism, you know. Why are we romanticizing work? But yeah, I just genuinely feel like the way productivity is perpetuated on social media is not how it is in real life half of the time, and it's not a lifestyle that is feasible for all of us. What goes viral isn't what is the most accurate representation of society, but what goes viral is what we want our lives to be like. And I think for me, I put a lot of pressure on myself because my life isn't like those people, right? I shouldn't be ashamed of that. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm a failure whenever I can't do things those like productive girlies on YouTube. This is not like shade to those girls, you know, for them that's what works. They also know that that's what sells. They know that if they make those quote-unquote that girl videos, they'll get views, they'll possibly go viral. If your life isn't like people on the internet, it doesn't matter. Not all of us can achieve a good routine. Like, no matter how hard you try, there's always like external factors. Like, I think, you know, we shouldn't have it like a one size fits all productivity routine, because we all have different needs and we all have different ways of coping with life. We all have different ways of working that help us. So I think, you know, I'm not necessarily saying that these YouTubers are sort of forcing that lifestyle onto you. Like, no, they're just showing you what works for them. I am the audience for a lot of those YouTubers, and I think like those videos, even though I don't actually follow that routine, I do think those videos help motivate me, and I think that is sort of their purpose too, to help motivate you and to help you think like, oh, you can improve your life. I think these productivity videos are sort of like, this is how to get your life together. I've made videos like that myself, and I still feel like I have to do all these things to get my life together, but it's not. Like, you can't get your whole life together in one day. It's a multi-step process, and it's not easy. I think building a sustainable routine is something that's hard, and it's going to be different for all of us. Okay, I'm gonna let this second layer dry, and then I think I'm gonna do a layer of pastel pink, and then I'll get back to you guys once the base layer is done, and then we can start to do the fun decorations and stuff. Hi, we're back. This is the can. I mixed a little bit of pink with the white. It's not very even, but I really don't care. So my inspiration for the can is the unicorn things. If any of you know me, you know that I am a huge unicorn things fans. I have a lot of things from them. So my inspiration is actually their packaging. So I'm gonna just like replicate some of the designs on this. What I really like is that they're very simple, and it's just like blocks of color. What colors go good with pink? I'm thinking like blues, purple, greens. So I'm just gonna choose some of the colors I possibly could use. There's a lack of a color selection, so I think I'm gonna have to try to use some from my IKEA paints. I don't actually really like these paints, so I wouldn't recommend them. So while I start painting some of these, let's choose another topic out of the hat, which is my first semester of university. If you don't know, I'm currently attending the University of Indonesia. I'm studying psychology in the international program. I really like what I'm learning. I think it's super interesting to to learn about psychology, and I think like I'm very glad I chose psychology. Even though like I kind of had my heart set on psychology, I also am passionate about other subjects. Other majors I was considering were like communications, political sciences, law, but I'm glad I stuck with psychology. I think it was a good fit for me, and I'm really liking what we're learning. You know, some classes are a bit iffy, like the general education classes. The actual psychology things we learn are interesting, so that's good. People I've met at university so far are very nice. Really like them, and I've already made some friends, which is good. My first semester was online, so obviously it wasn't, I didn't get that many chances to like actually talk to new people. So I'm hoping that we're offline next semester. Don't officially know if we are. I'm so sick and tired of doing school at home. I think like everyone I've met so far is really nice. No one's like been mean to me, thankfully. I think one thing I kind of wanted to talk about for me is like the culture shock I experienced, because a lot of you know, like I went to an international school, and going to like a public university was not really my first choice, although I don't regret the choice. Looking back on it, I had to learn a lot of new things in a short amount of time. Like not necessarily like language barriers aren't as big of a thing as I thought they would be, because in psychology all the textbooks are actually in English, no matter what, at least for the first semester, no matter if you're in an international program or not. You know, that's not really a thing I'm scared of. But it's more like I'm so used to the Western college system, weirdly, because I love watching college YouTubers, and obviously they all go to universities in like America or Europe. I didn't know many people that go to Indonesian universities besides my cousins, so I was sort of... Hi, Brownie! I got scared. I thought you were a person, kitty. Don't step on the paints, okay? This flower does not look very good. I kind of wish I did something different, but you know. Hey, don't fight. Hey, don't be mean to him. Okay, don't be mean. Yeah, I think it was like a culture shock just knowing Indonesian college culture, because I'm so used to watching videos of people going to their dorms, so used to watching videos of people going to these huge lecture halls, and like basically just very used to the expectation also of the Western college experience, like not only like YouTube, also like movies, TV shows. Like I genuinely thought that was what I was gonna get for the longest time, and I didn't really know that much about the Indonesian college culture, and it's a lot different. Like first of all, Ospek, that show was hell. I hated Ospek. I mean, it wasn't necessarily like hard, like I couldn't do it, but it was more like it was a lot of work. Like I would rather not have done it if I had the choice. If you don't know what Ospek is, it's basically like orientation kind of. So what I have to do for my Ospek is to interview like 20 Katings or upperclassmen, and then I have to do this whole book with them. And like honestly, I'm thankful that at least for my university it's not super dramatic. I've heard that for other faculties it's a lot more intense, so you know, I'm thankful that's not me. I think like everyone just speaking Indonesian was weird to me. Like my Indonesian is not very good, something I'm a little bit ashamed of. It's not like I can make any effort in trying to improve it. I did all my Ospek stuff first, like, you know, introduction to the faculty, introduction to the university, all that stuff, and it was all in Indonesian, and I barely paid attention for any of those lectures or discussions or whatever. That was a bit confusing to me, but I think once I actually started school and everything was in English, it felt a bit more okay. Y'all, this is so fucking ugly. I'm just generally hoping that next semester's offline, at least hybrid, because I'm so sick or tired of going on Zooms. That looks so fucking ugly. This is a mess. So in conclusion, I think my first semester of university went okay, and I made new friends, and I'm happy making these new friends. I learned a lot of new interesting things that I'm happy that I learned. I don't regret my decision going to this university, but I do just want to be offline for at least like go to campus and actually experienced going to class. Y'all, this is ending up so ugly. This is not going well. Next topic to talk about is favorites of 2021. Okay, on my Instagram story I've made like a whole thing, but I think we'll just talk about like my standouts of this year. My standout album was Red Taylor's version by Milestone. I'm actually not like a Red stan. I don't think it's one of her best. I think like objectively it's one of her best albums. It's just wasn't one of my favorites personally. I think with music you have to also be able to draw the line between what is your favorite personally and what is the best album. Objectively, I think if I rank Taylor albums in those two ways, it would be completely different. I think that Red Taylor's version really gave me an appreciation for Red, the album. I think also just growing older and growing up with Taylor Swift and maybe like getting closer to the age she was writing these albums, I really understand what she went through and how she feels as she feels. The reason why I love Red Taylor's version is not only because of the vault tracks, which are amazing. I think like they're better than the Fearless vault track. What really made me appreciate Red Taylor's version is like you can hear her growth. But the reason why I didn't really like Red is because like I felt like she was basically doing pop songs with a country accent. And although I love country Taylor, I just wish she had chosen one over the other. So I think with her decision to make it a lot more pop, like it's like classified as pop now, I think that was like a good call. I think also what's so amazing about these recordings is she gets to do what she originally wanted to do with these albums that she wasn't allowed to before because of like her label and stuff. I think also just like these re-recording eras really show how powerful Taylor is, because you know not many artists could get away re-recording their whole discography and still charting. Hit. Another favorite, I just finished The Crown. That was very good. Let's talk about one of the favorites that aren't on my Instagram stories, which is my CD player. I'm in love with it. I have 7 CDs now and I love listening to them. I originally did want to be like, you know, a vinyl bitch, but vinyls are expensive and record players are too. And it's also like you have to take care of them. I'm not very good at taking care of things. I think that collecting CDs is a cheaper way of collecting music of the people you love. For some of them I actually looked for pre-loved or like secondhand albums, so you know you can get them pretty cheap. I literally bought 3 Ariana Grande albums for 90,000. That's without shipping though, but still, like that's a fucking steal. With a CD player, my sister from Melbourne actually bought me that as a graduation and like congratulations presents for getting into Italy. I got a lot of presents for getting into Italy. The CD player I have is like those K-pop CD players and I love it. I think it's very cute, very aesthetic, and I'm so excited to use it more and get a lot more CDs. I'm slowly but surely building up my CD collection. The MCU has been good. Like I really like the limited series they've been putting out. I don't know, like I love the MCU. I'm not like a huge like MCU fanatic though, like I know a lot of people are, but I do think that the MCU has been putting out some amazing shows, you know, especially like WandaVision being a standout. I quite liked the Marvel movies this year, like Spider-Man No Way Home. It really made me bawl and I watched it twice, and I don't really do that for long ass movies, but that movie deserves a rewatch, honestly. I'm excited to see what the MCU does with 2022. I'm excited. The one I'm looking forward to, I don't know if it's coming out in 2022, is the Marvels, because even though I'm not a huge like MCU comic stan, the only one I have read is Miss Marvel, because she's a Muslim superhero, and my brother-in-law actually bought me the comics. What other favorites? I mean, my cats. Well, Brownie's my cat, so is my sister's cat, but I love both of them not equally. I love Brownie more, but I love them both so much. Hanging out with them has been the highlight of my year. Okay, I think that's all for that topic. Let's choose one more topic from the hat. Okay, this one is future of this channel. As a lot of you know, I have been really procrastinating and not uploading it as consistently as I used to. I think last year uploaded at least like once a month. I think mostly twice a month anyway. And I think one of the biggest like changes in this channel is that I stopped doing the one song a month challenge. And like the reason why I stopped doing that is, first of all, like they didn't get many views, and like I kind of like forced myself like, oh, I need to write a song, else people will be mad. But like literally no one watched the videos, so I'm like, what's it even the point? I'm putting all this pressure on myself to write an amazing song and no one really listens to it. So I stopped. And also like I felt like songs I was writing weren't very good. I never hated any of them, I just feel like I could do better. I'm still writing songs though. You can check my originals now on my yousrasings Instagram. Basically, because I'm not doing one song a month, I've been posting very inconsistently on this channel. Seems like I film quite a bit of videos. I'm just so lazy to edit them. I don't know why. Like right now I'm currently editing my first week of uni, and my first week of uni was in August. It's currently December, and I'm probably gonna finish that video by like early January. Basically what I want to do is sort of rebrand myself, I guess. For music and stuff, I'm mostly gonna do that on my yousrasings Instagram, and then for this channel I'm gonna focus more on like lifestyle slash study college videos. And then I'm going to be making a new channel called yousra, Gada being my middle name, and I want to do video essays and like commentaries on there, because that's another thing that I really like. Really like doing commentary videos. Well, it's something that I haven't done though, but it's something that I've been very interested in and been wanting to do for a while. So I decided, you know, I'm just gonna make a separate channel for that. I was considering putting them on the same channel, but I feel like they're really different audiences. I'm excited for this new change. Well, let's hope that I stick to it. Now for the last topic in this hat, we have creative burnout. This also has been contributing to why I feel this lack of motivation with this channel. It's not that I don't love making content. I still do. I still have that love that I started in year 6. Like I've been uploading videos on this channel like semi-consistently since I was in 6th grade, and now I'm a freshman in college and I still only have 200 subscribers, but that's besides the point. I feel like with this channel, you know, you've all seen me grow up. I've just been facing a lot of creative burnout because, like, first of all, I've been having a lot of trouble writing songs. I've only written like 5 songs this year, and I used to write like 20 songs a year at least. And you know, like, I'm kind of lacking in that department. Like, I know a lot of like very passionate songwriters. Every single day they're writing a song. You know, couldn't be me. I really want to keep being creative. That's something I'm really not doing a lot of, like staying creative, being creative, doing fun things. This is probably the most I've painted this whole year. Like last year, like the last 2 years, I've been doing a painting for like my bullet journal. I feel like creative burnout is something people, like, I guess on YouTube they do talk about it, but I feel like it's not as much of a thing elsewhere. Being creative in general is a very tiring process. I think that's also a huge reason why I didn't want to pursue like a more creative degree, because I knew I would be very tired. You know, I've been really struggling with like creativity. I've been doing things like to inspire my creativity. Maybe it's because I've been busy with, you know, organizations and stuff. Also, it's just like I've been really just lazy to put effort into, you know, giving fire to my creative self. I feel like I'm not really that inspired, but like I'm also because there's so much good music coming out, but I still feel like I'm comparing myself to them a lot, right? So I'm gonna name some like favorite singer-songwriters that I found this year. So Lizzie McAlpine, Eliza McLam, Ella Jane, Leith Ross, Mia Giovina, Leve. I love all these people and their content, but I just like constantly compare myself to them. I remember when I first found Leve, I think she was like one of the first I found like from TikTok. I was like, oh my god, her music is so good. Like, I love her voice, I love, you know, blah blah blah. So I like listened to a lot of her music, but then like once she came up on my FYP anymore, I couldn't listen to her because I was just constantly comparing myself. I was like, oh my god, how come you can't write like her? Or like, you know, I think also what's hard with being a creative person just in general is you need inspiration. And you know, that inspiration doesn't necessarily have to come from your life. Like, you know, Taylor Swift, she wrote a fucking song about God knows what. The spacing on this isn't very good. She's written songs about things like that have actually happened to her. So I'm trying to do stuff like that, and I feel like I come up with some good songs with concepts like that, but still don't know if it's enough. I've also just been doubting my creativity a lot, because I think also seeing all these new singer-songwriters make me feel like less confident in my abilities. And like, no matter how much I don't like the music I still think I'm a good songwriter, but I just don't think I'm getting better. Like, I feel like my songs from the past were better than they are now. For me also, these past 2 years I've been very numb. Like, I don't really feel emotions intensely as I used to. A lot of my past songs are about, you know, feeling intense emotions, whether that be like anxiety, whether that be heartbreak, whether that be love or whatever, even though I've never really been in love. Or is like, this looks ugly, I'm gonna turn it into a blog. Just haven't been feeling things as emotionally intense as I used to, mostly because nothing's been fucking happening. Like, life's been so monotone for the last 2 years. Even like the things I do write about is like for example, a topic I've been writing a lot about is like growing up, blah blah blah, coming of age stuff. But I feel like I've exhausted those topics. I feel like, oh, even if I write a song about the pains of growing up, like, I'm still going to have a better song about that topic anyway. So why the fuck am I even trying so hard to write such an amazing song about this topic? I don't want to feel that way. Like, it's not a nice feeling to feel, but still feel it anyway. I think also like just like my instrumentation skills are lacking. I think I'm done with this. To close the topic of creative burnout, I feel like it's something that should be talked about a lot more. And like, creative burnout is sort of like writer's block, but I feel like I've been having writer's block for 2 years, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna get out of it, and I'm really hoping I do, because when I don't pursue something creative, life just becomes more monotone. Like, songwriting was a huge like source of therapy for me, honestly, but now I just don't know how to write about my emotions, because I feel like I've written about all the emotions I've ever felt already, so there's nothing new. And then I also feel like trying to do other things, like let's say painting. Like, this is the extent of my painting skills. I just think I need to not be too hard on myself, but also like try to pursue new different means of being creative. Like, for example, I really want to get more into graphic design. I want to get more into music production, and recently I've been thinking about getting into screenwriting. So I'm a work in progress, and I think that even though I don't feel like I'm a creative individual at heart, like, I don't think I'm inherently creative as much as like other people, I do still think like I need to express myself creatively in order to just like feel okay. I'll do a little zoom in on the paint can later, and I think I'm going to do some outlines with the paint marker, so I'll show you guys the final result. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.